All right, you grasshoppers. Oh God, this is an exciting time of the week or what? Like everybody just sits around and waits for Thursday morning. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 9. We do this on purpose, trying to keep people's attention, right? Like make sure they're right.
If they really love us, yeah, they'll know.
What's up, Coach? How are you doing?
Early 9 a.m. I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm
so
good.
We haven't spoken since New Year's, right? This is our first show together since New Year's, right? Yeah.
Oh, you're doing math now?
Yeah,
you might be right.
That's right too.
Wait a
How was your New Year's? You up late?
No, I was asleep. I fell asleep, and you know what happened? I made it to 11:45, and then I woke up at 12:15.
Oh, nice.
And it was all good.
I did an event in New Jersey where they dropped the ball at 6 o'clock at night, so I was home by like 7:30 or 7 o'clock. Yeah,
that's perfect.
I was asleep at 10 o'clock. I saw the ball drop. It was pretty cool. They actually had the fire truck there, and they dropped it off the ladder was raised all the way up. And they dropped it down that way, so it was cool.
What did you do? Like a hockey thing?
No, it wasn't. It was for the town of Westwood, New Jersey.
Oh, cool.
I don't know why the Rangers were involved in it, but they had me go out there. It was a blast. It was kind of rainy that night, so it wasn't perfect, but it was good. It was still a lot of fun. It was good out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Way to go.
Definitely. Okay, so let's discuss the good news. Bad news. Okay, so the truck debacle.
Yeah.
So we have it with the mechanic that I trust. I know we were talking about this before the show. I'd like to see input from the fans here. So he wants to charge me $9,000 for a refurbished engine. I did a Blue Book Kelly Blue Book evaluation on it. It's anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000 vehicle if the engine's in shape. Yeah.
So it's a zero-sum game. So I think what we need is we need somebody from Westwood Lincoln Mercury. Okay, right. Westwood. You were just in New Jersey, Westwood Lincoln Mercury,
right.
Or
Westwood, because that's the town I was in.
Westwood Lincoln Mercury, very very good place. There. And who else? You got the one on Queens. There's a Ford Lincoln Mercury place on Queens Boulevard.
Right.
The Voltagios. So maybe they need a spokesperson.
There you go. Yeah.
Person, and you drive a car.
There you go.
What's
Perfect.
the big deal? I would do it.
Today is Danny. My 50th. Danny, happy birthday, Danny.
My man, job. Danny. Way to go, Danny.
How old's Tina? I shouldn't ask how old your wife is. That's not fair.
No, that's not good. Stop.
Hold on.
We apologize. Yeah. I apologize for Tom.
So the first guy was right with his diagnosis. Well, yeah, I know. But at least, right. So the first guy I went to that I was kind of skeptical about, he turned on the engine, and 2 seconds after he turned on the engine, you need a new engine. At least the guy I took it to now at least checked it out, pulled the manifold off, or whatever he pulled off.
Oh, he did pull something off.
Yeah, he opened it up, took a look at it. Yeah, so or at least he told me that. I don't know about these mechanics, but
right. But $9,000's a lot of money. That's got to be a pristine engine there.
That
sounds like a Joe Gibbs NASCAR engine.
Yeah, it comes with a 3-year warranty. So
good point. You almost brought up how many miles? 3 years or how many miles?
Excellent point. I didn't. He didn't say any mile stipulation. It was just a 3-year warranty. So.
Oh yeah. So you think you could drive that from New York to LA for the LA alumni game, play, stop in Las Vegas, come back to Midwest somewhere, like do a tour, the Tom Laidlaw tour across the country.
A 3-year tour. Yeah.
3-year tour.
Yeah, there you go.
So it might only be 20,000 miles or some crazy thing. I know. We got to read the fine print.
Right. Hey. So I want to bring this up here real quick. I know we have some other stuff we want to talk about. How does an athlete handle the situation in the Buffalo Bills game?
Great question.
Well, if we go back to, and I wasn't even in the game, but I watched it on TV with Clint Malarchuk where he got cut in the neck, right? And it does make you pause a little bit, but the mentality of an athlete is that they're indestructible, that they see somebody else get hurt and it's terrible. They feel bad for the guy, but they think it's not going to happen to me. That's typically how it handles, and which comes in good and bad ways. The good is you fight through things. The bad things you're oblivious.
So just to play devil's advocate, now they're saying that there are athletes who are starting to question in the NFL. There was an article. They and not that was maybe the latest contributing factor, but they're starting to question the fact that this play might be their last. And so that there are some guys, if you notice, like in the last couple of years, there have been a bunch of guys that have retired.
Well, Andrew Luck, is a big name guy, right?
Yeah. Early on, if you look at the Miami Dolphins quarterback, he's had maybe four concussions this year alone.
I know. And the thing is, they don't think, and it's not their fault. It's just human. They don't think what they're going to be like at 65 years old or 70 years old.
Right.
They're thinking, okay, can I play next week?
Right. Well, that's the thing when you're that age, but look, that's anybody in life. I mean, firemen, police officers, anybody who's a 25-year-old to 35-year-old guy, whatever the age group is, you do have a little bit of invincibility.
Hey, real quick, Anthony, it's a 6-cylinder. So Anthony asked, like, Anthony's going to find me a new truck. I guarantee, new engine for free.
That's it. Well, he's
Yeah,
Italian.
right.
Italian. The
Okay,
Italians
so
take care of stuff.
right. So the poor guy, is it Hamlin up in Buffalo, right? Is that
Yeah.
last name Ham?
Yeah.
So here's an issue, and I'm totally thrilled that there's so many people coming to him, and his support. Other athletes, LeBron James supposedly contacted him, all that stuff. That's fantastic.
Sure.
I think it's great. I guess I don't know if it's a concern. It's more of a statement, I guess, that we have a lot of things going on behind the scenes in the world: abuse, suicides, other things happening to bad people, kids getting sold into the sex trade, slaves, all these bad things. And again, I want to be very careful. There's nothing wrong with the way people are reacting to the football player and what he's gone through. It's great the support is there, but it's all okay. It was on Monday Night Football, so he gets his big attention to it. But all these other issues are going on. I just wish we would also say, okay, well, how about the kids that are suffering from abuse, that are committing suicide and that kind of stuff, or drug addiction? If we do more, because it's just not, and it's nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anybody, but maybe bring to light that there's a lot of other issues out there that we could really give the same attention to that we're giving to this football player, right?
Well, I hear you, and the bottom line, it speaks to the power of the media.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
The power of the media. I can only. It was on Monday Night Football. So what's the viewership of that?
Yeah.
Instantly. That's more than TikTok, Instagram, and everybody else. Right. Television is television.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's and there's an athlete, supposedly invincible, who hardly even got hit. And then just collapses and goes into cardiac arrest.
I know.
So that's
it's terrible. It's just that, and again, I'm so happy for so many people are rallying around him. I don't want to diminish that.
Yeah.
It's just that there's so many other bad things that are happening to people out there, men, women, kids, that I wish we just did more, like the abuse issue. And again, I got up front and center with it with Sheldon Kennedy way back. So I'm very, it's kind of that subject to me. I realized, and I didn't realize at the time when he first came to me, but I came to realize, and this, that there's so much going on behind the scenes every day, right now. People are getting abused.
And it's horrendous.
And it's terrible. And it gets the people to the point where it either ruins their lives for the future or they take their own lives. So it's
bullying, even bullying.
Yeah.
I think all of us. I mean, I know I was bullied as a kid. People get bullied, and then it's how you deal with it. Luckily, I had my parents gave me some advice, and my father, who was a tough guy, he gave me some advice, and it worked. Right. But I mean that's a terrible thing. So there's a bunch of things going on in our society.
Yeah.
And right away when he got injured, you had people starting to talk about vaccines, no vaccines. It was another platform to start talking about vaccinations and COVID. I think luckily the majority of the people shut that down pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is social media, right? With Twitter and everything. Everybody's got an opinion. Yeah.
I mean, everybody has an opinion, and everybody is very quick to label.
Yeah,
everybody's quick to label, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, I mean, obviously, everybody should collectively wish this guy the best of luck. He was involved in the community. He had a toy drive. Oh. He had a toy drive that he did for the holidays,
right.
And it was like one that was maybe raising $100,000 or something like that. It just topped $7 million. So people donated to the toy drive, his toy drive,
right.
And it's now over 7 million.
Wow.
So everybody, look, if we could bring light to the fact that is happening without promoting one's own platform, that's really where it's at. I mean, I think so. LeBron James, I mean, he's just a guy like that should reach out. You know what I mean? He should.
Well, yeah. Okay. So he's a great example. Right. But he's a great example. So great that he reached out to the young man. Yeah. That's fantastic. But there's so many other causes out there too. And I know LeBron James does other things. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like abuse issues, suicide, drug issues. I just kids getting I went up to high school, that alternative high school up in in Marquette, Michigan, and did a presentation up there. And I think there's three people. I don't know if they're girls or boys that I told were sold into the sex slave trade.
Yeah,
and one by their own mother. And I think the damage that does to the kids. And I think 3 or 4 of them had been sexually abused. So it's like you see that up front, and okay, why don't we do more for those kids too, right?
So in the instance where you went, somebody or some group of people created that school.
Yeah, very
because
true.
if they didn't create that school, then those kids wouldn't have that place to go to. And I think that's what happens. Even if when you go and you talk to some people, even some people that follow your shows. Your followers here on this are spectacular people.
Yeah.
When you listen to what some of them are going through, it's amazing, and kudos to them. There's some real heroes every day in everyday life. There's real.
Here's one you're talking about. Ron
There
James.
you go.
He's a veteran, and that's another issue. You're right, Ron, to bring up the veterans issues.
Yeah.
What they're going through, PTSD, and all these different things. So yeah.
But even the waiting, even just a simple waiting online, the VA, the VA veterans hospitals and whatnot. Even waiting online or not getting the proper medical attention, that's a real situation with them. A lot of my friends tell me that they have to actually. It's almost like you have to game the system. You have to circumvent certain roadblocks to get the proper health care as a veteran.
Yeah.
So, there's just so many things going on. So where do you start?
Look at the little guy. Look at the little guy there. Just so everybody knows, again, that's a life-size picture of Pete Giantello.
I love Pete Giantello. Listen, Pete is the best. He look at Pete. Pete has gone through a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Pete has gone through a lot, and God bless him. He took his sister's 3 kids.
Yeah.
And now is taking care of them. And you know what? Who better than Pete? He's such an upbeat, happy guy. But it's a great.
So
testament to him.
Just Barry Shelley was picking on.
Oh, Ira now.
Yeah, I know. So Barry Shelley was picking on Billy Contradidiac, saying that we moved the time of the show. Bill doesn't get up till 9:30, so he probably won't be on the show. So Ira is taking his place now.
Thank you, Ira. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, that's so good. Athlete.
I don't get a chance to give it to you because everybody else is giving it to you.
No, but that's good. Listen. Yeah. So listen there, Mr. Empathy. No, how should I say that? Let me see. Say athlete. What are you, Tom? You are a professional?
Athlete.
Athlete. So
yes.
I have to do the athlete?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Accentuate the athlete.
Athlete.
Yes.
Athlete. Like Affleck.
That's Affleck. Actually, that was a Ranger game on, what night was that? Tuesday night? Yeah, good game. Rangers played
Carolina.
Yeah, good game. Really good.
I actually heard about that. What, Carolina's the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Time of question, what's in your background? How long will you be in the
It's a hockey puck.
Yeah, it's got the
it's a hockey puck.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Whoever. That's when you do business with somebody like who medicates himself, smokes pot or something like that. You say, yeah, it's a hockey puck.
My daughter is in the autism spectrum these days, Challenge. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Autism. My sister works with that, but she does something with healing the gut. Oh. She believes that there's some kind of mind gut access, and she doesn't believe it, but that's true that there is that, and there's a correlation though between what they eat. She had her son. She put him on gluten free, and he is no longer on the spectrum. Now he wasn't, So I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, autism. Anything that afflicts the kids is just gut wrenching, and that's why that seems to be what a lot of teams and athletes.
There you go.
Is it good? I bet. All right, athletes. My English class. But that seems to be what a lot of people are having causes for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things going on. And you know what, Tom? There's so many people that are doing things that don't get recognized.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. We've talked about Barry back before, right? And he's reached out. He wrote about his problems and reached out and got help. And he got great help from the Rangers. And it was great both that they helped him, but also for him to see, because he was of the belief before, especially when Mark Pavich was going through his thing, that the NHL and the individuals in the NHL, past and present, weren't doing things to help people. And that's the key, is they don't want to tell anybody else. They keep it a secret.
Right.
So, they don't want to embarrass the person that's getting help. It's like Glenn Sather, for example. He's great. He's helped many players individually with his own money out of his own pocket to help players. And he reached out. They really did a great job with Barry to get him help too. So like those kinds of things happen, and we just don't see it. And it's designed that way, and it's unfortunate. And again, not Barry's fault. He was over in Hong Kong. He didn't know what was going on. For me, I'm involved in the hockey world, so I see and I hear what's going on for individuals. So,
well, it's almost like you want a magic bullet, though. When somebody you love, it has mental illness.
Yeah.
Okay, especially mental illness. It's not a Band-Aid. And so in other words, it's not like a broken arm, a broken shoulder.
Right.
Mental illness, it's hard to see what's inside their head, right?
Sure.
And so that's the thing with poor Mark Pavlich or anybody that has mental illness. It's very tough for somebody like Barry, who's a protector, whatever, guys that are the way you played and everything, to see somebody like him go through this suffering. He was incarcerated. He had all these situations going on,
Right.
So you just expect somebody to go and,
Right.
and
And
call
the
the
le- and
governor
the-
and get him
yeah.
out.
And the
Get him out.
reality is, you just can't go and get him help. He has to ask for help. The rules are, the laws are, he has to ask for help, which Mark ultimately did.
Because he's an adult, right? Because
Yeah.
he's an adult.
He-
You have to
so
have help.
he ultimately asked for help, and everybody went, including the alumni, people in the NHL, went out of their way to really help Mark. Unfortunately, he's, things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, because there's no guarantee. It's with anything else, alcohol, drug addiction, any of that stuff.
Totally.
There's no guarantee. You
Yeah.
could give them your experience, your strength, everything else, and it doesn't work.
All right, so we are topic of the day. So we're going to have more of a topic of the day. So what is it? Confidence breeds confidence? Is that how'd you?
No. Yeah. It's confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence.
Definitely. Okay.
All right.
So you have to start with the confidence first, right?
Correct.
To be successful.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So how then? I want to hear from you how you feel you need to get confidence. How do you get that confidence? How do you become confident?
I think by just learning. What do you want to be? In other words, first off, what do you want to be confident in? You want to be confident in just walking out the door. It's a process. I believe confidence is a process, and it's a process. It's a catch-22 because it's a process that gets improved by success. So no matter what it is, I think continual learning. I think it's important to build your skill sets. I think it's important. I think it's important to increase your ability to communicate. All of those things will give you confidence. They said quiet confidence. So quiet confidence, then that, depending on what it is, there are people that have quiet confidence.
Yeah.
You hear it in sports, you hear it in the military, you hear it in I don't know about it as much in business, but to be, I think, it depends if you want to be a leader. It's important that you learn how to communicate, and also just continual learning. It really is. And that'll give you the success. Then if you have those things and you're starting to put those in your toolbox, then you will get success in whatever it is that you set your goal to do. In your case, the NHL, right? You know what I'm saying? In my case, business.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%. I guess for me, I say it in a way, I say you have to love yourself, right? So, but you can't just say, I love myself. You have to put the work in to love yourself.
Yeah.
Then that gives you that license to have that confidence. So that means, okay, so physically you want to be able to love yourself. So that means training. Eating proper foods. And again, it doesn't have, your training doesn't have to be Tom Laidlaw's training or Rich Gabberty's training. It's your training. Right. Same thing with the mental health. Like, put good thoughts in your mind, learn more, like you said, like exercise your brain, put yourself out of the comfort zone all the time. When you do those things, now you know that you've done the work, and now you can feel confident in yourself. You give that license to yourself to feel confident. And like you said, then the success follows after that. And again, the key is that too, that then once you're successful, just don't. And this is where I look back at my career as playing too. I was, and I've said this before, very proud of myself, made it to the NHL, all that stuff. But if I was to change anything, my goal was to play in the National Hockey League, and I did that.
Yeah.
My goal, then at that point, it should have been to be a better player every day, like the way I live my life now. If I was to do it all over again, then I would have been a better player.
There seems to be, in a lot of cases, once you get there, if your goal is to get someplace, once you get there,
totally.
It's then like, oh, what now?
Yeah, you put on cruise. You put on cruise control.
Cruise control.
Yeah, totally. And that's, I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
So
this is good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
So when I was on the All-Star ballot, and I think about it now, like, why was I thinking the way I was thinking? Like, I was in panic mode thinking, okay, what if I actually make the All-Star team and I got to play in the All-Star game? I mean, I don't play in All-Star games. That's where, like, now I would think to myself, yes, if I deserve to be in the All-Star game, I should be there.
It's the first time for everybody. I mean, once again, you're a hockey player. You know what I'm saying? This is what you do. So you make a quick pass to whoever was Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Could you have done that? Was he playing then? And I let pass to Mario Lemieux. Okay, Mario, go. Right? Jaromir Jagr skates up the end, and he passes to Jagr, and you got an assist.
And it's a weird thing too. And it wasn't like I wasn't confident in myself. I was totally confident in my game. It's just that setting there in an All-Star game, I felt like, okay, I didn't belong in that setting. That was the weirdest thing for me. Yeah. Pete wrote us a novel here, so we'll take the next half hour and read this.
He's got to chop that up, though.
I know. I'm fortunate enough to be able to talk about everything I've been through in my life, family, friends, coworkers. It took me 3 months to dig myself out of a hole to be able to talk about the 30 years. I'm fortunate where my wife is the director. My daughter's a social worker. My son is I didn't know that. All the people listening won't be afraid or perhaps ever ask for help. I had this discussion with Rich multiple times. Yeah. Well, that's crucial. Yeah. Asking for help, right? That is the big thing. And still, listen, I talk about it. but I'm still not always great at it, asking for help. There's still that part of me that's like, geez, I feel weak, and I should. That's not the way you should feel. You should feel that you can. So again,
Well,
fight through
opinion,
that.
help, whatever it might be. I mean, it is good to ask for help. And Pete and I have had some great talks, and he's a great guy. His family, I mean, just his story is spectacular. And I don't even want to try to explain it to the viewers, but he's a great guy. He is a power of example, and my God, I wish him the best every day. Positive too, man. You meet him, positive.
Tom Laidlaw was success at a high level of sport. It's completely worse though if you're void of kindness. Well, very true.
There you go, Danny. I agree with that.
And I've learned more, but I think I was kind before. I think I was okay. Like I wasn't mean to people, but I have learned much more about the impact you can have on other people by treating them properly, right? So
he crushes my soul every day. No, Tom is very kind. Tom's a good egg. He's a good guy, and he loves when I say stuff like this. I don't say it much, but he's a great guy, and
I was lucky
to have him.
I thanks, sir. I posted it this morning on Facebook and Instagram where I was at this event last night for ice hockey in Harlem. And, when you get around kids, you can see now too, like I've been much more aware as we've gotten farther along in this whole mental health thing and true grit life and motivation, that when you have an opportunity like that, especially with kids, like they soak it up. Like some kids yesterday were kind of like whining a little bit. I said, listen, I played, or no, it wasn't about the whining. It was more like falling down. And they said, listen, I played in the NHL for 11 years. And then their eyes open up like I played for the Rangers, the local kids. And I said, I couldn't skate when I first started. I was terrible. Yeah. So it really, you can make a difference in these kids, like in their confidence level, understanding that, okay, well, he couldn't skate. Now he played in the NHL. So,
And 20 years from now, or whatever, that you run into a guy who was playing for the Rangers, and he says, hey, I remember when you came to hockey in Harlem.
Yeah, definitely. I had a young guy, I'll tell his name, Max Como. Really proud of him. I coached him for many years. He went in the Army, he had a great career. He's married now, very successful, kids and everything. And when he was his recruiting a guy when he went in the Army, so Max put down on his resume my name. He used me as a reference. And the guy goes, really? Tom Laidlaw? So I guess back when I was with the Kings, this kid was the kid at the time was standing outside, and there's a whole bunch of kids asking for sticks, and they're all like, "Gimme!" And I apparently said, "I'm not going to give you a stick unless you say thank you." And this young guy then said thank you, and I gave him the stick. So he told Max that story, and he said, "No, that's Coach Laidlaw. That's the way he does it." Yeah,
that's awesome. That's good stuff. It's neat when you meet people like that, and they say things in COVID.
Yeah, it reminds you, and you've done this many times, you make an impact on somebody's life. Yeah, I think you always have to remember when you're interacting with other people, especially kids, you have the opportunity of impacting their life, I think. So,
and I think that's more important when we talk to coaches, you and I, for USA Hockey, and that's the thing I think we need to stress more with the coaches, more than just even the X's and O's and all of that stuff. It's that the kids are an open, they're just open filter, especially the young kids. Oh my God. What you tell them, you tell them can really, in a positive way, benefit them. But God forbid, in a negative way, you could plant the wrong seeds in their head.
Yep,
not cool.
Again, so when I went back to Northern Michigan to make the presentation, my old coaches there, Rick Homley, and I remembered, and I said this in my presentation, both he and my parents, one of the biggest gifts they gave me was to never take away my dream. Yeah, they never necessarily say I was going to make it or I had a good shot at it. They just never said to me, or never even gave me the impression that they didn't believe I could make it. I'm sure my parents, when I was younger, probably were like that, because I wrote this letter that I was going to play in the National Hockey League, and at that time I couldn't stand up on skates. So I'm sure they're both sitting there like, oh God, this poor kid, he's in trouble.
Yeah, but they might have their own issues, right? Back then, okay, you want to play in the NHL? Okay, good. All right.
No, and that's keep going. Yeah, they were busy. Yeah, we were running a farm. They were busy. They if I wanted to play in the NHL, it was my doing, and I thank them for that too. It was, if I wanted to play, I was going to be the one that had to do it. Yeah.
Now, how'd you get there for practices and whatnot?
My mother most time. Yep.
And how far was the rink?
Oh, it was a hike. We were out at the farm, so we had to drive into the city. So it was good, at least 20 minutes, half an hour. Yeah. There's many times where I was playing as I was getting older, and they would pick me up from school. My mother would have the Tupperware with my dinner in it, and we'd go to a game at night and then come back. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing, though?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. They had their own lives, but they were doing that with the Tupperware and the car rides and everything like that.
Oh, my dad was fireman or firefighter. He'd work the all-night shift, and he'd get up to it. So, the things they did, like when I was in Northern Michigan, my father would work the overnight shift, get in the car and drive 12 hours up to Northern Michigan University to watch me play on the weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right or wrong. Awesome.
And you don't recognize how great it is until later
Yeah.
on in life. Like you don't like when you have your own kids, the sacrifice and everything. So
Yeah, it's amazing. You don't appreciate your parents until you're like, 50,
so
60 years old and you go,
totally.
wow.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So my father, and I've said this,
Yeah.
and he was a fantastic man, but I looked at him as kind of weak, like I was a teenager getting in fights all the time.
Oh,
And everything,
yeah.
I think that's what a man's supposed to be all about, right? My father was this like calm giant of a man, hardworking, working every day.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, come on, Dad, toughen up a little bit. Now I look back at him.
God. He didn't have to prove himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally, yeah.
He didn't have to prove himself.
Yeah.
He was who he was. So he
Yeah.
had that, going for him.
Yeah. Totally.
Whereas as kids, you're trying to prove yourself.
Oh, I know.
Climb the ladder.
Oh God, I know.
Or at least stand your ground.
Yeah. Let's see here. There's a good question for Rich Gabberty. Hey, Rich, how do rock stars treat their young fans?
The ones I worked for treated them very well. So the Aerosmiths of the world treated them very well. Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, great guy. Metallica, pretty decent. Guns N' Roses, certain guys like Slash, the guitar player, is phenomenal. He's just a great guy. Yeah. But so the one I would make sure that for whatever reason, I guess my grandfather channeled me. But I would make sure that they appreciated life. When we woke up, we're riding in the car and they were saying something, complaining about something as we were in a limousine going to a Learjet to fly to the next city. I said, hey, remember this? There's a guy waking up and he realizes the Jamaican restaurant's on his garbage truck route.
Right.
They go, what do you mean? I said, you know how rotten that shit smells in the morning?
Right.
Oh, you're such a bummer, man. I was like, hey,
is that how they react to it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because I used to do it all the time and they would just look at me going, no, we got to hear this shit.
That's good. So, okay. So you're saying that, so you're the tour manager. Is that your title? Tour manager? Yeah. So they're probably thinking, oh, fuck, excuse my language. There's this tour manager telling us how to lead a life or whatever, right? And it's probably not till later on. Do you think that they actually recognize?
No, they recognized it right there because they don't have the ability. We talked about this in the past also. When you retired as a player, it was tough you had to book your own airline tickets. You had to do so I was in charge of basically tour managers are in charge of the logistics.
Right.
So all of the logistics. When do we leave the hotel? When do we go to the plane? What time is wheels? What's wheels up? Everything. So that's what you're in charge of, and so you're implementing the plan that is made when the tour is created. So they have no clue. The only thing they have the ability to do is go on stage and play music.
Right.
Other than that, it's really they're being pulled in so many different directions. It's a shit show. I mean, it really is. So you're the guy, like you're herding sheep.
Yeah.
And you get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? And so you get paid for it and you're herding sheep. And so they'll listen. Sometimes they want to tune you out, but so you want to tune me out too sometimes. Just mute my freaking microphone.
Oh, it's funny.
But we had some fun. We had some fun. I used to take. I took Joey or Steven to like hockey games. Oh. And they would sit on the red line. We'd sit on the red line, and Joey would go right to sleep. He was on the jumbotron at the Garden, and sometime in the '90s, I think he was sound asleep. So, Section 88, right on the red line.
So those celebrities that go to the game. So do you call the Rangers for as an example?
You have somebody that calls the PR department. So your PR person calls their PR person, and right away there's two seats.
Right.
And of course, it infuriates probably everybody listening to this podcast because there's two citrulls, as we say in Italian, sitting in great seats that don't know a damn thing about the sport.
Right. And they always, if they give them free tickets now, the Garden always has them on the jumbotron.
Well, they have to. I mean, that's the trade-off. Right. They do that, and they give them all the. It's not like those guys go to the game with the hats and the they give them all the swag.
Yeah, they do too.
Right? Yeah, they give him the jersey, the hat, the scarf, all of that stuff. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, here's Danny gets on fire sometimes.
All right, Danny.
Are there other intellects in the world besides Sting? So we consider him as an intellect? Is that?
Yeah, he's an intellect. Yeah, Sting is Sting. Yeah, he's an Bono from U2 actually there's quite a few. If you really get to talk to them, they have some very, very heavy. Hey, this is pretty heavy, man. But yeah, they're interesting guys. They really are. I mean, Steven will give you an opinion on anything.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. They're into a lot of different things because their money gives them access to information.
Right. True. Do you know the comedian Bill Burr? You familiar with him?
Sure. Yeah, we're talking.
So
Yeah, he's
I've
great.
got to be. It's not like we're best friends, but I've got to be friendly with him. I'm thinking.
He's great. You knocked him on his ass. Good.
Yeah, but he very intelligent guy. Like I've been with him before the show and everything, and he's got
Yeah.
short like the crude stuff and everything. But he's an intelligent man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all those comedians though. The comedians are very cerebral. Like Colin Quinn. Colin Quinn is a very, very intelligent guy. Even my buddy John Staliano. You know, we have some great conversations.
Yeah.
What do we got now? Okay.
Away time did the both of you discover the fact that mental illness is how to change your life? Just curious. How to change your life with the from the mental illness part of it? Well, for me, one of the biggest things is understanding mental health. Like learning about how the impact, like if you have some trauma when you're a young child, like from 7 or 8 years old, you know, and I've talked about it here where, you know, I have this fear of abandonment because I was basically abandoned by my parents.
Yeah.
And I never understood that. Now I don't know I guess that being aware of it now kind of explains things to me, like in my relationships, why if I ever felt like somebody was leaving, well, I just shut it down and that was it. So I understand that now. And but it's a good point though. Yeah, I mean,
with mental illness, every day is a new day. As far as that goes, I didn't really experience mental illness until or insanity until I really got deep in the band, working with rock bands. The drug scene in the late '80s, the party scene, the nightclub scene was just crazy. We thought that we were just crazy, you know, out of our minds, right? But obviously there were a lot of addiction there. And then the band, when you deal with those guys, they're out of their minds. But it's because of substance abuse most of the time.
So let me ask you, that's an interesting so the appearances that the rock bands, especially back then, it was drugs. Why them more than anybody else, it seemed like?
It was part of the culture because it was accepted more. I don't think that, in other words, like Doc Ellis, the Pittsburgh baseball player who years later said he threw a no-hitter on LSD or something like that. Like so obviously he was actively doing drugs, but it wasn't really talked too much about. I think in '84 there was scandal on the St. Louis Cardinals about cocaine.
Right. Well, the Mets in 1986, right? They had.
In '86 they had some issues too. Yeah. So you heard about it, but it wasn't prevalent across the sport. Drugs have always been illegal. Alcohol was only illegal during Prohibition. So, the story of guys going out having a bunch of beers or whatever drinks after a game, hydrating themselves, that wasn't a big deal. But, rock and roll bands, that after the show, there are nights where they just beat the hell out of themselves.
Yeah. So, but that was the culture, right? I mean, that's okay. This is
it was just around. It was the way. Yeah, it was the way it was. Now, if there was a guy in the band who didn't do drugs, well, then he didn't do drugs, and he wasn't part of the party, as far as that goes. Yeah. But I never saw that.
Hey, I'll put this. I think Danny's putting this up here. It'll be fine. Yeah. I have a feeling that mental illness creeping back into my son's life and is eating me up inside. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'll tell you, there are things you can do, Danny, and we'll help you if you want. You can reach out to us, direct messages or whatever, and we'll help you as we can. Like I've learned about things like hypnosis and meditation, and and again, I'm not saying those are the answers there, but there is a number of things you can do. And I know you love your son, obviously, and you'll do anything you can for him, but.
Danny, for me, it would depend on how, somebody needs to know how old he is and what it is that he's going through and what it is that you think that you see as far as the mental illness returning. Did he have it prior? What symptoms do you feel he has? And the most important thing is to get him in some way, get him help. And before you get him that help, I would suggest from experience, talk to whoever it is that you feel you need to talk to about it, like a professional that can diagnose or at least make healthy suggestions for him. But talk to that person first before you just bring your kid there.
Right.
Interview the person. Pardon me, Tom. Interview the person.
Right. And another thing that we've talked about here too is that, Danny, I'm not suggesting there's anything wrong with you at all, but make sure you're taking care of yourself too, right?
Wow.
I mean, again, I've learned to use that correlation where, like, when you're on the airplane and the flight attendant tells you put your mask on first before you help somebody else. The same thing. You have to be healthy yourself to help your kids. So, and I'm not suggesting there's anything wrong with you at all, but maybe you're taking a lot on your shoulders that kind of hurts you a little bit too. So
yeah, and that's about practicing self-compassion. As far as that goes. That's really what, what that means is be kind and understanding to yourself.
Right.
When I practice self-compassion, I have to understand what I'm going through in the instance of a kid not feeling well, because that's important. We mistake and we have setbacks ourselves just from that.
Totally. Yeah. And everybody, doesn't matter who you are. Like Rich, you and I are the same way. It's not like we understand the stuff we talk about. That doesn't mean we don't have issues ourselves, obviously. Right?
You know what it is, Tom? For me, I catch myself quicker. That it doesn't last a day with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't last a day.
Yeah. Here's my own personal sleep expert right here. My personal sleep expert.
I know you should. Okay.
A lot of cocaine abuse to try and compensate for lack of sleep. Decisions are made from emotions, impulsive part of brain rather than objective reasoning.
100%.
Wow.
100%. And that's what. Yeah. Oh my God. The Bolivian marching powder band. That was just. Oh my God.
The Bolivian marching.
And what. And this is well documented, so I'm not talking out of school here, but the bottom line is every city you went to had the guy, and the guy would come and he would he had everything. And in a lot of bands instances, nobody's paying for it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not paying for it. No, you're not paying for it because they're getting tickets or they're getting swag or they're getting an autograph or whatever it is they're getting.
And they want to be able to tell all their buddies that they're getting all the drugs for their.
Probably, yeah, which is smart until they run into a guy like PG and Tempo who says, "Hey,
right too.
It's my badge."
So Billy Country, he's made a few comments.
Hey, here he is.
I have to give him a little bit. Quicker.
I love it.
He goes
quicker. It's quick. You get high quicker.
Do you think he sits around and just waits all week long for this show so he can just
listen? He's a great guy. All I know is he's a great guy. I live vicariously through him because he had a fantastic Christmas Eve and the family. They had pajamas on.
Oh, did they?
When was the last time you wore pajamas?
I sleep naked, yeah. So
exactly. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. But they had pajamas on, Tom.
For Christmas Eve, they had pajamas.
I'm pretty sure it was him.
So Billy Country, like former police officer, I believe he was.
No, he's a fireman. He's a fireman. But we want to know where was it in New Jersey, sleepy New Jersey? Was it in the heart of the
He's now sitting around. He's now sitting around at night with his family with pajamas on.
No, I just saying for New Year's Eve. It's a thing. Christmas. It's either Christmas or New Year's Eve. I didn't take notes, but it was. I'm
trying to have the vision though of this. Like, so a grown man that used to be a firefighter, going into buildings, saving lives, and like that. Now he's sitting around at night with pajamas on.
What do you expect him to be in a fireman's uniform with a pole? Do you think he has like a pole going from the first floor to the second floor in his house?
Pair of jeans and a black T-shirt. I mean, what's wrong with that?
It looked like it was either early morning or late evening. It was one of those type of deals.
It was like
the whole family together.
Were they matching pajamas?
I don't know about that. I was impressed by the fact that
like the red ones with little Santa Claus on it. Like,
first off, he somehow convinced his kids, because kids could be a pain in the ass, to pose for the picture. Right. His wife. Is he answering you now?
Yeah, sure. So it's Christmas.
Don't
blame it on the woman's.
All the women's ideas. God. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. But that's a good out for him because he probably bought them. He says, wouldn't it be? Imagine Bill. Yeah.
So he's probably going over his wife right now. Don't you tell anybody that I bought those. Don't you tell anybody. And this is my idea. Tell everybody it was your idea. Right.
They went to the store together.
I know. Can you imagine?
He's retired. He's got his pension. He's retired. He's got nothing to do. Bill, we're going to go shopping today. Oh, okay. Can we make a stop to get some beer? No, we can't do that.
He probably sits around with a wife beater T-shirt on and gets the vacuum cleaner out and vacuums around the house.
He's got the recliner. God bless him. Listen.
Archie Bunker.
No, he's not Archie.
We'll call him Archie Bunker from now on.
Archie Bunker. That was a funny show.
Imagine that show on today.
I do imagine it. I think it would be. That was a hilarious show.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. Like
we were able to laugh at ourselves back then.
Yeah. Remember he had Sammy Davis Jr. on?
I was just thinking, Oh,
God. How about some of those roasts they used to have with Don Rickles where he would get
spectacular
too? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Rickles would just cut people up. And the Johnny Carson show, watching like highlights of the Johnny Carson show from back in the day, they basically said the most dirty stuff in the world. And they were experts at it. They were really experts at it.
There's nobody's been like Johnny Carson. Like David Letterman was good, but I don't think these other guys. Some of these guys, they show highlights of them, stuff that's supposed to be funny. Like if that's the funny stuff, I'm thinking that was awful. Like if that's the best stuff they've got. Yeah.
Well, I find a lot of humor now is tries to be cerebral. How's that word, Bill?
Yeah, I know.
No, they're trying to be like over the top. Like Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr. It's the chord of what's going on in society.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Even Chappelle hits the chord of what's going on in society. It's edgy. You don't know what he's going to say exactly. It's good stuff. It
Yeah,
really is. And in both cases with them, I like the fact that Chappelle is married to a Filipino woman.
Yeah.
Because he was called racist against Asians. Somebody called
Right.
him that. And he said, "Oh,"
And-
he goes,
and-
"Oh, word." He goes,
And
"Oh, word."
Bill Burr's wife is black.
Yeah, spectacular.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I am
domesticated and help out in the house. Beautiful.
Look, he's trying to back himself up now. He feels like, okay, I need to say something here because I can't have this. Like, I can't be Archie Bunker all the time.
Bill,
So-
do you clean? Do you clean while you cook though? That's the important thing Tom wants to know right
Yes.
away. Do you clean while you cook?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
important. And yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
you
Bill,
like
there's
to
nothing-
cook. You like to.
Yeah,
Listen,
totally.
I'd rather cook than anybody else. you
Yeah,
know.
Bill, if you feel comfortable going to the store with your wife and picking out pajamas, the real red ones with the
Nothing wrong with
Santa Claus on there, yeah, and having it out for all the kids and neighbors and all that kind of stuff over, and sitting around at night with your pajamas on, that's fine. Everybody does their own thing. You don't have to feel like you need to protect yourself. Right?
Bill, I'm going to give you a website that you could order stuff for your wife. It's called Adore Me. Okay, it's called Adore Me, and it's a website. And we won't look at it right now, but just take a look at, and it's for happy couples.
Happy couples. Oh, okay. But I think Bill actually likes going to the store with his wife, like and making it a whole event, right? Like they walk through the mall holding hands and everything like that.
Well, that's the thing. They got to pass the time somehow.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Poor Bill, because she's got a bunch of stuff to do, and probably half of her day is her responsibility is taking care of him.
Right. Yeah. And she's probably at this point now. She said, "We should go back to the fire department. This guy's he's around too much, he's hovering over me."
Just be a consultant.
Right. You think he gives her a kiss at night, like "Good night, honey"? Wait, you think he says "Good night, honey" at night, or?
Yeah, listen, they look very happy together.
Okay.
Listen, we're just don't be jealous. It's a lot.
Yeah, good point.
Don't
You
compare
know what?
yourself, Thomas.
See,
don't
that's
compare.
I am. You're
Be
right.
kind to you.
You hit the nail on the head. I think I'm jealous. Right?
Yeah.
Because my abandonment issues, I'm all alone. Everybody's abandoned.
Let me tell you something right now, okay? If there was mental health help for us, right, you wouldn't have to pay $9,000 for your engine because you'd have about $1.5 million in the bank.
Oh,
okay.
God, I do need.
You understand?
Help. I do need help.
So that man there, and firemen are notoriously penny pinchers, but that's just from my experience.
Yeah.
But that man there, he's in great shape.
Yeah, good point. He is.
He's enjoying life, man.
Yeah,
I should
not project my problems onto him, right?
No, not at all. God bless him.
Right. You know what
think about the peace. If he could live with a woman that long,
Yeah.
okay, and if a woman could live with him that long, vice versa, okay, it's a two-way street. But God bless them both. Those are the people we want to interview, right?
Yeah,
and Melnick. Your buddy Melnick, the guy out there, wherever the hell he is, Coquitlam, British Columbia or something.
Yeah. Problem with Mel is like you arrange something for him and then he can't show up. He's too big. Yeah.
I'm not saying show up for him. I'm just saying that he should let him record his stuff. Really, you know.
You know what I'm thinking now as we're talking here? I think I'll go get Jackie Long, who I had on the hypnotist.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to her and get hypnotized. See if we can.
Oh, you're going to do something.
I think I need to deal with this abandonment issue. So serious.
Well, that's where you go though. That you can go online. I'll give you a website. You go online and you could talk to a guy like you. It doesn't have to be, or whoever. You get a bunch of people. You pick one. You read about them, and you talk about trauma and abandonment and all of that stuff.
Well, I think I've talked about it. I'm aware of the issue, but I need to get it solved. Like
you need to find somebody that is
I got a
professional.
I found her.
Oh,
Jackie.
you want to get hypnotized? You think that's the one, the magic wand?
Yeah, I think that's I believe it. Yeah.
All right. Listen, try anything.
No, I'm not just trying it. I'm going to do it, and it's going to work.
Well, that's what they say. Oh, okay, because you're confident. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you believe, if you give it a chance, if you believe that that's what you need to do, then damn, do it. Let's go.
We've learned that about Tom Laidlaw as well. We're self-aware. See, self-awareness is a big thing. I've become much more self-aware of things about myself. It doesn't always feel good though. Like being self-aware, like it's almost better to just be oblivious and just say, "Well, no, this is just the way I am." That's it.
Well, people are like that. There are a lot of people that are oblivious. But when it's hard to deal with people that are oblivious.
Right. All right. So a friend of mine here in Greenwich, she's so she wants me to go over and help with her rescue pups, and she's going to help with my abandonment issues. Oh, okay.
Oh my God! Then you're going to get attached. You're going to take a pup. You know the whole bit. Yeah, that's.
Oh no, that's right too. I see what she's doing.
Yeah,
I see what she's doing there. Oh, see, good job, buddy. It's a good thing you're here for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've studied this. Yes, I've looked into it. Six ways to keep positive in a bad situation. Okay,
hold on. Say it again. 6 ways.
6 ways to keep positive in a bad situation.
Okay,
from the book by Coach Rich G.
I've done this with the truck issue because now I have to walk to the gym in the morning.
Yes.
Right. So now,
that was good.
getting more calories, get a good workout. There's up and down some hills to get there. So I'm warmed up, ready to go. Or get more walking in, burning more calories.
Yeah. How about gather support? You gather support. You got to find somebody that you can talk to about this, and you do. You have a podcast.
Right.
This is like the topic for the last week. Everybody's worried about your freaking car.
My car. I guess. Yeah.
You do this stuff naturally. Is what my point to you. This is a compliment, but you gather support.
Right. That's right too. Yeah, I do. Yeah, because I don't have to share that. I don't have to share that news on the show, but I do.
No,
right?
Right.
Okay, so let's analyze this for a second. Hold on.
No.
So I'm talking about the truck because I want people to feel bad for me, or
no bullshit. No, nobody's gonna feel bad for you. You're talking about it because you're being honest about what's going on in your life. Your truck broke down, right? You put it on the flatbed, right? You videoed that.
That's right.
We saw the car go up on the flatbed, so we know it is a Denali and it's black and it's got the wheels and all of that. And one of them you popped when you had a problem with the flower truck driver. You know what I'm saying? So
I'd forgotten about that one too.
Yeah, there are people that have memories.
All right, so let's go through the math. I want the opinion of people here. So let's go through the math here. So let's say Rich feels and I do too. There might be a little bit of a high price there, that $9,000. It's a refurbished engine with a three-year warranty on it. All right, that's what the mechanic wants to put in it, or suggested putting in it. So the vehicle, like I planned with this vehicle, I said, I'm going to really take care of this vehicle. Like normally I'd get a new one, 100,000 miles, whatever it was. But I said, I'm going to take care of this vehicle and have it for 300,000 miles. That was the goal. So it's got about 120,000 miles on it now. It's all paid off. There's no payments on it. So if I put $9,000 engine into it, then I've got it. Well, obviously I got to pay off the $9,000. So if I just get rid of the car and sell it for like $4,000 or whatever and get for it, then I got to get a new car or lease a car. And then I've got payments when I don't have payments at all right now on the vehicle. So that's the math. That's the dilemma.
And it's a 2012 Denali with 120,000 miles on it.
2013, but close,
2013.
The Yukon Denali, all the bells and whistles on it. It's in great shape. No rust on the body at all. It just has a motor that does not want to work properly.
And the other thing to wonder is why did that happen?
Good point. So the damage is from the fact that it ran out of oil. There was no oil pressure gauge that indicated there was a problem. There's some pump or something that stopped working that was pumping the oil to it. So that was the issue.
Okay.
Hold on. Drop everything. Drop everything. Hold on. Alicia's here. Good morning to all. Does that mean that she sleeps in? Like normally she's at the show at 10 o'clock. Like here's like
no, she's at the gym, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so look for.
What's the question? Look for what?
Look for an LQ. Some, I'm assuming like new engine.
Yeah. So Yukon Denali engine with our crack staff here.
Right.
Yukon Denali engine remanufactured here is anywhere from $3,100 to $4,800, and then they have to install it.
And is that a refurbished engine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting much higher price. I'm glad we're doing this show because I trusted this mechanic too. He seems.
Well, no. Listen, but that's what.
Where'd you look that up? I should look that up.
I'll help you out later. Okay, I know you're running after this, but I'll send you a full report from the Coach Rich G hotline. Anyway, so.
No, the flatbed trucker, very. Dougie was very professional. I made sure he knew that too. Great young man, very quick, clean, nice young man. No, he did not know my background. What do you think? I was just going to say I'm Tom Laidlaw, plays for the Rangers. Do you think I would actually do that?
No, Barry. When he leaves his house, there's an announcement, and now playing defense number 2, Tom Laidlaw, and there's like cheering in the whole bit. That's every time he opens his door. Yeah, that's what you hear.
It is funny sometimes when I go to the Garden or whatever they introduce. Oh, I'm Tom Laidlaw. I play for the Rangers, and going. People are looking like, you did?
Oh my God! Well, yeah.
Let me see here. See here. You're all going to make my air bike go fast. Thank you for the fun. You're welcome. We're here for you. We are here for you. Let me see here, Barry. Let me see what Barry knows stuff. Labor costs will be double the price of the engine. Oh,
double the price. Holy crap. Wait a second. If the engine's $3,000, the labor cost is $6,000.
Well, maybe that's why I'm getting the quote of $9,000.
Well, I would think that you'd go to a car dealership, like a Caddy, Yukon dealer, a GMC dealer, whatever the hell they are. Anyway, and that would be an expensive $9,000.
Yeah,
$9,000 is a lot of money, but maybe that's what the guy charges because he's that good and he knows how hard it is to do, and he doesn't need the money because he's got a lot of business.
Right.
So he says $9,000. I still feel that there is a viewer somewhere in viewerland that has a car dealership, okay,
Right.
that can give you a car comparable to, you basically want a like a truck, an SUV, something like
I'd
that,
rather go to a pickup truck now. I'm like this. I'm a pickup truck
like an
kind of guy.
F-150.
Yeah, I had that before. I had an F-150
With the cab, though, you want the cab that you can throw
no, I
something in the
didn't.
back?
It was the 4-door. So like
Mhm.
you see, and I got a cover for it, so you can cover it off. So it just had
Gotcha.
a lid on it. I guess we'll call
Right,
it.
right. But so that's what you want. You want a 4-door with a lid to seat you and you.
Well, I don't even know if
You
I
don't-
need
you
that.
need
I'd like to have a
4 doors?
back seat. I don't know if I need the 4
Oh,
doors.
you want a back seat. So the F-150 Ford has a back seat. It's 2-door and it has a back seat.
You can get there's different configurations of it. Yes.
Yeah. You can throw a door in there and all of that.
Right. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, see, this is what I wanted to do. What Alicia's done here. I wanted to just like have a car. So I grew up in a farm where my parents and my grandfather, they took meticulous care of the vehicles and they lasted forever. So I thought, okay, so I'm going to take care of getting all the oils changed and all the liquids changed all the time, thinking, okay, I'm going to take care of this car. And all of a sudden it craps out on me because some part does. And there was no indication either. There's no check engine light or nothing like that.
Really? When was the last time you changed the oil?
I get it changed. It's got the little gauge on it where it tells you when
Yeah.
to change it. So I change it every time on. So
When
last
it
time
comes
was
on,
probably,
yeah.
So last
don't
time
s-
was probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago.
So they didn't say anything like you had a leak in the oil pan that, that
It must
nothing.
have, it
No
must have, no,
explanation.
what it was some pump or something that pumped the oil.
The oil pump went.
Right.
So the oil pump went and it wasn't pumping oil. That's that's just
It's not a
bad
good
luck.
thing. It's not a good thing.
Not good.
Yeah.
That isn't good. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, lost in all this important oil truck situation stuff, I found my own neuroscientist.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, my own. And so Huberman, who I always watch, who I like, a great.
So I have my own sleep expert.
Sleep.
Brendan
Yeah,
Duffy.
I have it. Yeah, so I went into the neuroscience
Okay.
bag. So we're ready to go. We could really just cure
So
anything.
explain what a neuroscience is. Science
It's the science of
neurals.
the brain, basically.
Oh, the brain. Okay. That's
the
right.
noggin. Yeah.
Wow. I need
Damien,
one.
yeah, he was he's a great guy. He's at this there's a place, Ageless Fitness, and which I like the name, and I got a little shirt, and it's great. And you can do cryotherapy. They got infrared sauna. They got the Novatech compression boots, and this guy was a Division I wrestler at Arizona State University, and he was also he was a competitive weightlifter. So he's in good shape. He's but then again, he's a neuroscientist, so he could teach me about atrophy and all this other stuff that is prevalent in my daily experience.
Atrophy? Really?
Well,
See, I'm not. See, I see people say, like doctors especially say, well, you just get to be 50 years old, your body's just going to start falling apart. That's just what it is. I hate that. God.
but that's if you don't work out. See,
Yeah,
they
but
should
they're not.
finish
But
this
they're not
sentence.
saying it. They're not saying it that way to a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of doctors
No.
are saying to it, it's just a fact of life. It doesn't matter what you do, that your body's going to fall apart.
Well, that's important. You bring that up, and everybody should know this: that you have to go to the doctor and say, "I don't give a shit what my age is. I exercise 4-5 times a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is. I want to be an active person.
Right.
God forbid you hurt yourself. If the PT, in other words, we want to get back to athletic shape.
Right.
We don't want to just function. It's important that you do that.
Right. Oh, so Alicia's pumping in here with some her opinion, and she raises some valid points. Repairs have been sometimes expensive, but do not compare to the car payment insurance of a new car. That's true. So we get where. So here's the issue. I'm thinking. Okay, so the car's got roughly 120,000 miles on it. Let's assume if it's taken care of, it will last with some minor repairs. It'll last to 300,000 miles on it.
Yep.
So if I get this new engine, refurbished engine with a 3-year warranty on it for $9,000 to get it installed, if that's the case, that's a $9,000 payment. Then I still have this car that I believe should last at 300,000 miles, as opposed to getting some new car or even a slightly used car and now having payments on it or take money out of my pocket.
I mean, or get one of those hockey player endorsement deals and drive the car for.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm. Well, I shouldn't sell myself short. Okay, but let's say that I get a $40,000 vehicle.
Yes. Oh, you want to do math now? Now we have to really get it. I got to get a calculator.
I'm basically paying off $40,000 either writing a check or making payments on a $40,000 payment,
right?
As opposed to making a $9,000 payment and having this car that I assume can last 300,000 miles. So the math is, to me, that math is pretty simple, isn't it?
Well, leasing a car, you're going to lease a car. You're going to lease a car for 36 months,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
right? So 36 months, you have to put money down,
Oh yeah. See, that's the whole point. I don't want
right?
to. I've got this vehicle that I believe should last for another 180,000 miles.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
I make a $9,000 payment on it, and it's still my vehicle. Right. As opposed to leasing for 3 years, where I end up with nothing.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But so it comes down to $9,000. So when was the last time you made a payment? In 2015?
Oh, let me see. So I got the vehicle. I bought it out of the lease. So I had a 3-year lease in 2013. So like 216. So let's say I think I had like 3 years to pay it off. I must have. So it's like probably 2019. I paid it all off. Yeah.
And
So
you were paying about $500 a month.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year.
Right.
So in your mind, you saved 6, 12, 18, like $24,000. Now you got to spend $9,000.
Right. And now I got a vehicle that should last for another 180,000 miles and no payments on it other than that.
So then it sounds like the key is to find a less expensive engine replacement in the next 48 hours.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, then I'm thinking to myself, and
I have nothing to do. I'll find it for you.
And there's another 2 or 3 week wait to get the engine. So I'm sitting there going, I guess I'm doing a lot of walking. So
wow.
But I can walk. See, it's actually.
Can you walk to your little food? Where the hell do you go? Costco.
Oh, okay. So there's a good story. So
Costco
is probably, I'm going to say, a 2-mile walk for me.
Oh,
Let's say
that's
it's
nothing.
2 mile. So I was looking at. I don't know if I'll do it again or not. Well, yeah, I probably will. So I walked there with my little Costco bag. You know, you carry a lot of stuff in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because I looked up what an Uber is going to cost me, like $40 to take back from Costco, like a 2-mile ride.
Wow.
I guess it was that the flex pricing or whatever they've got going on.
Yeah, whatever it wasn't good.
So I got the bag in, put it on my shoulder, man. That thing was, and I had the full sweat go because there's some hills up and down going back. So I've got to carry it. It's awkward, so I got the bag on me.
Yeah.
And there was times where I said, nope, I'm not quitting. I did every telephone pole thing. Just make it to the next pole. Make it to the next pole.
Just 2 miles there, 2 miles back.
Yeah. And the way back was with the weight. I probably had, I had the 20-pound thing of chicken wings. 20-pound thing of chicken. So it's probably like 70 pounds in the bag.
That's spectacular.
And what a workout it was. It was a good one. Yeah.
That's spectacular. And isn't it funny? Like I'm sure, look, people, you, me, whoever, people might recognize, say hello. We might have friends. Not that I'm not a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you would think somebody would stop for you.
And I thought that maybe somebody would. And I said, nope, I'm not taking a ride. I'm going to walk.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You would have taken a ride. Come on.
No, I'm serious. I was saying to myself, because I was breaking down like halfway through. I said, okay, just get an Uber, Tom. This is ridiculous. I said, nope, it's a challenge now. I'm not giving in. Yeah.
Okay. A challenge.
Yeah. Never put the bag down. Shoulders were just.
So that's the kind of stuff we want to hear. So you felt good. Great workout.
Yeah.
Sense of accomplishment.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Felt good. It really was. Like I said, I'm not going to give in. And even like when you come back into our complex, you can walk around on the road, or this thing, you can go up a pretty steep hill. And I think, nope, I'm going up the hill with this bag on. That's it. Very proud of myself.
So you do this stuff automatically. You help yourself. Listen, you do so many healthy things without even realizing it.
I do. And
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. I realized this is an opportunity. I looked at it as an opportunity. Like at first I was thinking, oh, geez, $40 for an Uber. And then I stopped. I said, stop. This is an opportunity for you. You got nothing going on. It's a quiet afternoon. Go to Costco, buy your stuff, walk home.
So you didn't. So you didn't. So for the $40, now we take that off the 9,000.
Yeah.
And now we're making progress. Right? Not yet. Right. Think about it.
And you figure for the next probably 3 weeks, I won't be driving the vehicle. So all the money I save on gas.
Oh my God.
Right.
Add it up.
Right.
We're down. We might be down to like 8,500.
Maybe we'll just keep the car at the mechanic's place.
Yeah, that's it. You don't need a car. No, that's perfect. You don't need a car.
I'll cancel the insurance on it, so I'm saving money on the insurance.
Oh my God!
Just have it. Think of that. We got it. It's brilliant.
All you need is a golf cart.
That's I walk everywhere.
You got a bicycle? You have a bicycle?
I'm not riding a bike, no. And I don't have.
Wait, what do you mean you're not riding a bike? You get a mountain bike. I don't mean those little skinny. They got real.
I definitely. I'll tell you, I'm not getting one of those electric scooters. I'll tell you that.
No, I know you're not doing that.
I see somebody ride that. That's terrible.
I'm talking like a mountain bike with the thick tires, and you could go into the park and ride on the grass and the whole bit. That's right.
I should do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I may, instead of, if I don't always want to carry stuff back from Costco, I could do that Instacart, right? Instacart's a good thing.
Yeah, you can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's fun. That's a day. That's a whole different slant on it.
So Alicia, see, it shows Alicia care about. Nope, we're walking, Alicia. We're walking. And the rare times that I need a
rent
ride,
one. Yeah. Okay.
And the rare times that I need a ride, I'm gonna Uber one. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I go to Ranger events, like they're very nice. They will get me a
send the
car,
Good.
but I hate doing that. So I might just Uber it. So yeah.
So wait. So when you went to hockey in Harlem, how'd you get there?
So that was just me donating my time. I did not. So I said to them, listen, all I need is a ride. My car's there. So the Rangers were involved in that as well. So they got me a car to that event. So,
good. All right. Cool. All right.
Well, we went through a lot of stuff here today.
I'm exhausted. Holy shit.
I know. And I'm doing 3 of those podcasts today, full change. It's called. We've got Darren Langdon today, Stefan Matteau, I believe, and I can't remember who else we got coming up. So
good stuff.
These are good. Yes, definitely.
Langdon's got a good story. Stefan, that's good.
Yeah, I was Langdon's agent too, so he'll give me our.
Oh, were you? Oh, there you go.
Definitely. All right. So, did we solve anything today here? Like any of my issues? Like, so we didn't.
We identified your engine issue. That's for sure. Right, Last week we identified your trauma issue. Okay, so now you're working on that. You're aware of that, and there are steps to take. You may now today decide to go with Jackie Long and the hypnotism. Okay, you feel confident that that's the path you want to take. That's great. And now the engine, you did what you're supposed to. You gathered support. So you got Anthony Carlucci. He's looking for your new engine. I'm going to try to help you. GoFundMe page for Tom's engine.
That's funny.
That's great.
I'll show me walking down, like carrying the heavy bag. That's I'll video me carrying the bag, saying I need a GoFundMe page to fix my car. That's funny.
Help a retired NHL hockey player get through life.
Yeah, get back from Costco. All right. So what time? So Pete, this is a taped. It's a regular podcast. It's not. There's no visual to it. It's just like it'll be on Apple and all that kinds of stuff, and that'll be coming out probably in the next couple of weeks. We've got about 17 of those taped. Tape. They call it tape.
Yeah, you get taped. Yeah. In the can. 17 in the can. 3 more. There'll be 20. 20 in the can.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So once again, mental health issues out there. It's still an important issue in our society. Again, we got that hotline 988. Reach out to help people. So.
Absolutely. I second that. And positivity, if you can. It's the act of focusing on the good in your life.
Right.
And
definitely. So if you don't have a vehicle, look at it as good exercise opportunity. Just walk more. Right?
In Tom's case, the fact that we are talking, he's grateful for that. Thank you.
All right, everybody. See you next week.
See you later.